A final way to sketch the graph of an equation is to look at the points where the line crosses each axis. So we're going to work with the same equation, y equals 4x plus 5. If we think about the graph here, just a general graph, here's our x coordinate, here's our y coordinate. What all these points have in common on the x-axis, if we were to just identify some of these points, this would be 0, 0, 4, 0, 8, 0, 12, 0, minus 6, 0. They all have the second coordinate of 0. So if a point lies, I'll change that to red, if a point lies on x-axis, if it lies on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. For example, 4, 0, 6, 0. Remember, any coordinate system is x, y. And similarly, if we're to think about the y-axis, this one here, if we were to think about the y-axis, let's just think about some coordinates. 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, 10, 0, minus 6. This time they've always got, the first coordinate is 0. So that means if it lies in the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. So if it lies on y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. What we're going to do is we're going to utilise these two properties to find out the points where the lines will cross each equation, or sorry, where they'll cross each axis. Then we're going to join those points using a ruler. Okay, so what we're going to do with our given equation is y equals 4x plus 5, is we are going to figure out where this equation crosses the x-axis and the y-axis. So we just saw in the last screen that when a line crosses the x-axis, so that's the horizontal axis, in common all those points have a y-coordinate of 0. So to find out the coordinate of the x-axis, where this equation crosses the x-axis, all we have to do is make y equal to 0. So we're going to have 0 equals 4x plus 5. And all we're going to do now is we're just going to solve for x. This is just like solving a basic equation. So I'm just going to rewrite this round the other way. So I want to find out what x is. So I'm going to take away 5 from both sides. So 4x equals negative 5. Now I want to find out what x is, so I need to get rid of this multiplying by 4. I'm going to have x equals minus 5 over 4. So the coordinate where our line crosses the x-axis is minus 5 over 4, 0. Because we know, or we've just said, that the y-coordinate is 0. This coordinate lies in the x-axis. Now we're going to look at the corresponding coordinate on the y-axis. Remember, when a coordinate lies in the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. So y equals, this time, because we're not saying that y is 0, we're saying that x is 0. So 4x means 4 times x. So we're doing 4 times 0 plus 5. So y is going to equal 0 plus 5, which is 5. So the coordinate where this line crosses the y-axis is 0, 5. So x coordinate 0, y coordinate 5. So all we've done so far is we have found out where each of these, or where the equations has crossed the x-axis. We set y equal to 0, and then we solved the equation. We did the same for the y-axis. When a line crosses the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0, and we substituted that into our equation. We've now got the coordinates minus 5 over 4, 0, and 0, 5. Okay, here we've got the graph of y equals 4x plus 5, but you would obviously have to plot it. So we have got our points that we have just found out. We've got minus 5 over 4, 0. So we're going to go along, so minus 5 over 4 is the same as minus 1 1/4. So if we go along minus 1 1/4, and we put a dot, this is like where the line would cross the equation. Similarly, we would go up to 0, 5. This is where the line would cross. So it's going to cross in between these 2 points. So using a ruler, I would just draw a line connecting these 2 points and extending for the rest of my graph. So we've got 3 methods: a table of values, comparing with y equals mx plus c, or we can look at where they cross the x and the y axis and then joining those points together. Thank you.